This is RTV6 News at 7, working for you.
And good evening to you here at 7 o'clock. I'm Mark Mullins.
And I'm Amanda Starantino.
Tonight, RTV6 is working to hold leaders accountable for keeping our youngest safe as they make their way to school.
We talked to parents in Wayne Township who are worried about the lack of sidewalks in the area of Girls School Road and 21st Street. Pedestrians frequently have to walk in the road or the grass. And multiple pedestrians and bicyclists have been hit by vehicles on the same stretch of road. One mother who lives across from Ben Davis High School says safer paths are needed along this high-foot traffic area.
There's beautiful parks, shopping, our schools are along this road, and it's just dangerous to walk up and down if they're not consistent sidewalks. Someone's going to be killed.
Wayne Township Schools has offered up land near along Girls School Road near the high school to the Department of Public Works to be turned into a path. And while the DPW says Girls School Road from 10th to 21st Streets is in need of a sidewalk, right now the city doesn't have the funding.
If you see a dangerous problem in your community and you feel like nothing is being done, connect with RTV6. Send us a message at workingforyou@rtv6.com and we'll see what we can do to get that issue resolved. A proposed expansion at a local metal trading facility has some Madison County residents concerned for their safety.
Working for you, RTV6's Megan Santorum explains why they're worried and asks the company what they're going to do to keep neighbors safe.
People living in this area reached out to RTV6 saying they're frustrated and they have a lot of unanswered questions about this proposal. This is the current Nuco Metals facility on State Road 13. It could look a lot different in the future if a proposed expansion is approved. Leaders with Nuco say they want to add on to the facility so they can melt, recycle, and repurpose aluminum. They're calling it the Element 13 project. But not everyone is on board. An online petition has more than 1,500 signatures, and this sign now sits across the street. People who live in the area say they're worried about how the facility will impact the air and water quality. They say tests have shown similar facilities release hydrogen chloride.
It's all the debris and the fine particles that fly through the air that my kids are going to be ingesting into their lungs.
My two baby girls play right here, and it's right there. And all that scares me for the kids, for the crops. I mean, this is farmland.
Nuco released a statement saying they are committed to environmental safety and security. They tell us they plan to comply with the state's environmental regulations, and the Element 13 project will not pollute the air or endanger nearby residents. The Ingalls Board of Zoning Appeals will discuss the proposal at a meeting next week. It has not yet been approved. Working for you, Megan Santorum, RTV6.
Megan, thank you. And new tonight, the United Auto Workers and General Motors have now reached a tentative agreement that could end the ongoing strike that has brought GM's U.S. factories to a standstill. There are nearly 7,000 GM workers at Indiana's 4 plants in Marion, Kokomo, Bedford, and Fort Wayne. The union went on strike 1 month ago today, demanding a bigger share of profits, job security, and a better path to full-time jobs for temporary workers. One Kokomo worker says if it's been a long month and if it hadn't been for community support, they wouldn't have made it.
Earlier today, Kentucky Fried Chicken brought a bunch of, chicken to both sites, and they get donuts every day, and retirees are helping out quite a bit, bringing fresh food, and it's really been a godsend that, we've had this kind of support. You hear the horns, it's like this all day long. It's just constant, We have a few naysayers, but you're going to have that.
We don't know what they're getting. Details of the 4-year agreement have not yet been released.
Indigo's Red Line is up and running, taking people from the north side all the way to the south side of Indianapolis.
But now focus is shifting to the next project, the Blue Line, which will provide rapid transit along Washington Street between Cumberland and Indianapolis International Airport. Indigo's current plan is to give the Blue Line dedicated lanes, meaning traffic would be reduced to 1 lane in both directions for all vehicle traffic. We spoke with a business owner who says she believes the new bus route will hurt a lot of businesses with those dedicated lanes for the Blue Line because it will divert customers. Tonight, a gathering in Wayne Township is giving people the chance to voice their concerns. RTV6's Cameron Riddle will have the latest on that on the news at 11.
And let's give you a live look from our tower cam from the roof of the Salesforce Tower, showing you the stadium there at IUPUI's campus. It's been a breezy day out there, and temperatures are cooling. Let's get your Storm Team 6 forecast with Chief Meteorologist Kevin Gregory.
That's one way to stay warm, isn't it, Mark? Run around, play a little soccer. It not only has felt like fall today, but it looks like fall, getting a little more color in the leaves and the sky at times, just that dark gray overcast. 72 yesterday. And you know what's happened today. The high temperature actually occurred just after midnight. Most of the afternoon, we've been locked in the lower 50s. Very little temperature range today. This made it feel even cooler. I'm sure you had a heavy jacket on through the day. The wind gust to 34. Tonight, they'll generally be 10 to 20 miles per hour. 50 degrees, so just a 4-degree temperature change since midnight. We're still hanging in there over the next few hours with a slow temperature drop because the clouds are going nowhere, at least in the short term. Let's look at our evening forecast temperature. 48 at 10 o'clock tonight. Maybe some clouds begin to break up as we go through the overnight. This is what you'll wake up to. Temperatures upper 30s at 6 a.m.
Indiana Attorney General Curtis Hill is trying to block 2 women from testifying about sexual misconduct allegations against him. Hill faces accusations of unwanted sexual conduct. Several women have filed a civil lawsuit against him for sexual harassment. Indiana's Disciplinary Commission wants 2 women to testify about Hill's actions when he was Elkhart County prosecutor before he became Attorney General. But Hill's lawyers are trying to bar the women from testifying, saying their testimony on those specific allegations is not related to the disciplinary hearing allegations.
New today, more intensive punishment for people who supply drugs that end up taking people's lives. Marion County is now using a new law that brings down charges in fentanyl overdose deaths. Prosecutor Ryan Mears says that his office filed one of those charges for the first time this week against a man accused of dealing fentanyl and heroin. The charge of dealing in a controlled substance resulting in death was enacted by Indiana lawmakers in 2018. It carries a potential penalty of 20 to 40 years. The cost of cancer can take a toll on a patient and their family, and one company in Indianapolis is trying to alleviate some of that burden for cancer patients across the state.
Brian Tomlinson at Circle City Cryogenics has inspired by his wife, who was diagnosed with breast cancer. As head of sales and marketing, his company has had success cryogenically freezing everything from light bulbs to razor blades, the process improving the quality and lifespan of products. So he decided to try freezing anti-embolism stockings, the kinds cancer patients are given during chemo.
After testing at Purdue proved that it improved the elasticity of the stockings by 50%, he and the owner of Circle City decided they want to freeze those stockings for no charge for every cancer patient in Indiana.
And it was pretty stressful seeing my wife go through this, and how strong she was through it was an inspiration. So just want to give back.
Tomlinson's wife is now cancer-free and no longer needs anti-embolism stockings, but for those who do, new ones can cost anywhere from $50 to $200. So getting ones that are long-lasting from cryogenic freezing can save cancer patients some money in the long run.
If you or someone you know has cancer and wants to get this treatment done on anti-embolism stockings, you can go to our website and click on this story for details on how to mail in your stockings here to Circle City Cryogenics. Tomlinson's goal is to help every cancer patient in the state.
And you know, since we first aired our story by Alyssa Donovan on Good Morning Indiana today, Tomlinson tells us he has already gotten a ton of calls and emails from people reaching out about his work.
That is seriously one of our favorite parts of our job, giving you stories you need and seeing the effects of so many people seeing those stories right here.
It's great to hear. Coming up here on the news at 7 o'clock, lawmakers say the impeachment inquiry is rolling along with new testimony matching up with that whistleblower complaint. The latest in the impeachment battle next.
Plus, a little bit later, reclaiming wood from buildings that are about to be destroyed, how the Forest Service and a nonprofit are teaming up to recycle wood and give people jobs at the same time. This is the news at 7 on RTV6.
Frenzy.
All season long
On Good Morning Indiana.
This is the news at 7 on RTV6. Tonight, the family of a woman killed by a Fort Worth, Texas police officer is inviting the public to her funeral.
This as her accused killer refuses to cooperate. The family of a Tatiana Jefferson is planning services for her on Saturday afternoon. Prosecutors say Jefferson was shot and killed in her own home by former police officer Aaron Dean. A neighbor had called the police non-emergency line when they noticed her door was open. Investigators say Dean shot Jefferson through a window, and body camera footage shows he did not identify himself as a police officer. He's now facing murder charges and is reportedly not cooperating with investigators.
A heated meeting between congressional leaders in the White House today. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi says a conversation about Syria turned into a meltdown from the president.
President Trump insists Pelosi and other Democratic leaders stormed out of the meeting. ABC's Karen Travers has the latest as the president tries to negotiate a ceasefire between Turkey and U.S.-backed forces in the Middle East.
President Trump says the situation on the Syria-Turkey border is under control, but fierce fighting there has even Republican lawmakers saying he made a major mistake. President Trump insists the fight in northeastern Syria should not involve the United States.
Our soldiers are not in harm's way, as they shouldn't be, as two countries fight over land. That has nothing to do with us.
The president today at the White House defending his decision to pull back U.S. troops ahead of Turkey's assault on Kurdish forces.
The Kurds know how to fight. And as I said, they're not angels. They're not angels.
The Kurds were the key U.S. ally in the fight against ISIS. Their commanders say they were betrayed by the Trump administration. Syrian government troops have reportedly entered the city of Kobani, where U.S. and Kurdish forces first fought and defeated ISIS together. Russian troops have also been reported to be moving towards that city.
Russia, Iran, Syria, and to maybe a slightly lesser extent, Turkey, they all hate ISIS as much as we do. And it's their part of the world. We're 7,000 miles away.
Republican Senator Lindsey Graham, an ally of the president, continuing his fierce criticism of Mr. Trump's Syria policy.
If we abandon the Kurds, it will be to our shame and to our national security detriment, and Trump will own the reemergence of ISIS.
Lindsey should focus on judiciary.
Vice President Pence and Secretary of State Pompeo are scheduled to meet in Turkey tomorrow with President Erdogan to push for a ceasefire. But Erdogan said today he will never agree to that and won't negotiate with Kurdish forces that he considers to be terrorists. Karen Travers, ABC News, the White House.
Coming up here, it's an organization whose employees tell us gave them a way to grow and advance within its ranks. And now it's looking to hire even more people. The chance you may have been looking for ahead in Hiring Hoosiers.
I'll let you decide if it's cool or cold out right now. What you can't deny here is a warming trend. We'll talk about that into the weekend and what comes with it shortly.
NationalGuard.com. This is RTV6 News at 7, working for you.
Big things are happening at one of Indianapolis' favorite spots to enjoy outdoor music, and it's all going to make your experience more comfortable and enjoyable.
Yeah, the lawn at White River State Park is getting some upgrades, hopefully in time for next concert season.
The lawn is getting 3,000 permanent seats to replace those folding chairs. There will still be lawn seating for another 4,500 people. The venue will also get a permanent stage with permanent lighting, and the renovations come with 40 new restrooms on the south end of the lawn next to the stage. It looks awesome.
It does look awesome. Can't wait to see it come to fruition. Getting enough food, it seems like a simple enough thing, but if you can't get food for your family, it changes everything. So people were pretty excited today to open up a new option for people on the Far East Side. The David Nolan Pantry of Hope at Hope Center Indy opened up today. Kroger has invested $15,000 to create the pantry. One worker we spoke with says you can sometimes take for granted having enough food, and working at this pantry has already taught her some lessons.
One of the women, when she very first got here, she really wanted some food. She saw food that we had on the table, and she started just pulling it, holding it under her arms. And I realized then that what food scarcity meant. For some of us, we have food all the time, and we don't even think about it.
That new pantry is sponsored by Kroger. It's on Brookville Road near South County Line Road.
Hiring Hoosiers is how RTV6 is working to connect you with jobs, skills, and resources to better your career. And one employer we've shown you before is about to hire even more people. The YMCA of Greater Indianapolis is holding a citywide job fair for available positions at all 12 locations. It's happening coming up 3 weeks from today on Wednesday, November 6th from 4 to 7 in the evening. Through Hiring Hoosiers, we've told you how many employees of the Y have found upward mobility and lots of professional growth. For more details on this event and other job opportunities, just find the story on the RTV6 app or head to hiringhoosiers.com.
We've definitely seen it here in central Indiana. Abandoned buildings or homes just sitting around in communities.
Well, one city has figured out a way to take blight and turn it into something useful. Armaya Rodriguez found it helps the environment and community. community at the same time.
'Cause 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 '
These are row houses, 40 to 50 houses in a block.
Neighborhood numbers
1,200 houses, 363 vacant or boarded up houses.
come easy to Marvin Cheatham.
It's awful. You know, it's awful.
His Baltimore neighborhood, no stranger to challenges.
It's tough. It's very poor, high crime, high dropout rate, open-air drug markets.
This park, though, may be the start of something new. The abandoned homes that once sat here, gone. And given a new purpose.
We take it, we clean it up, and we give it new life.
Max Pollock is with Brick and Board Warehouse, one of several groups part of the Baltimore Wood Project.
They came from a really, really old structure.
The idea? Before an abandoned building is torn down, salvage all the materials you can from it, like wood, and keep it out of landfills. All while giving people living in those neighborhoods the job of doing it, like Kobe Bland.
It gives you a new sense of your community. You start to view your community a little different because you see the potential.
But what started out as the Baltimore Wood Project is now evolving into the Urban Wood Project in the hopes that it could be replicated in other cities.
In just 4 years, they've salvaged 1 million square feet of wood. The USDA Forest Service is spearheading the project and the work to expand it.
So this is wood, for example, locked up in these vacant and abandoned row homes that would otherwise be just wasted, sent to the landfill or otherwise wasted. And we see the potential to capture and reuse that wood for a greater good.
A greater good that Doc Cheatham says he's seeing here.
It brings hope.
Salvaging the past to try and build a better future. In Baltimore, I'm Maya Rodriguez reporting.
Good use of resources.
Good use of resources there. Around here, it was a breezy day out there.
It was chilly.
Yeah, it was chilly.
Ooh.
So
it's all of those things, and cloudy as well. Temperature is not much different than it's been all day long. We'll see a slow temperature drop here next few hours. Windy, cool, and dry. That's what we'll call it. Warming trend starts tomorrow after the coldest start. Even these morning lows will still be cool on Friday, but the general trend for high temperatures will be warming up enough that you can wear some short sleeves and shorts as we get to the weekend. Jump to the northeast, big storm system impacting areas from Philadelphia through New York to Boston. Lots of wind, lots of rain, and flight issues. If you have a flight there during the day tomorrow, early in the day, double check, may have an impact. The cloud cover will slowly break up. You begin to see some breaks in western Indiana and eastern Illinois. Always seems to take a little longer for these clouds to break up in this kind of cold pattern. Temperature 49 in Tipton, 48 in Greencastle, 50 in Indianapolis. As I mentioned, the actual high temperature was at 12:22 a.m. just after midnight at 54. Temperature tomorrow morning with the breeze still 10 to 20 miles per hour. We'll be in the upper 30s. Friday morning will actually be cooler. Tomorrow by noon, we're at 50. The big difference, not as windy tomorrow and more sunshine. Pretty good combination, and we'll need it. Temperatures still only reach 57 for the afternoon high. Some spots to the south almost to 60 degrees. I think we'll save that for Friday. That's when we should all go up and over the 60-degree mark. The wind will be light out of a south direction. That change in wind direction sets us up for temperatures that will climb well above average into the weekend. Friday high temperatures from north to south. Peru at 60, about 64. Terre Haute, Bloomington, and Columbus. That will lead to a good Friday night for football. And as we step into the weekend, clouds will increase Saturday. 70 for the high. The chance of a shower thunderstorm into Saturday night. Sunday dry during the daylight hours. Chance for some thunderstorms as we get to Sunday night, and it looks like even into Monday the better chance for thunderstorms as we have a storm system that starts to build to our west. Strong cold front and lots of wind with this. It will draw in the warmer temperatures, which means we'll jump into the 70s Monday. Then as we get to Tuesday and Wednesday, falling temperatures. That transition may include some strong showers and thunderstorms. We'll keep our eye on that. 7-day forecast. We're dry next few days here. Temperature 62 Friday, 72 on the Sunday, and we bounce around a little bit, but beyond the 7-day forecast, indications are we stay on the cool side as below average temperatures may take us to the end of October.
I can't believe Halloween is just around the corner.
Do you have the candy yet?
Not yet.
But he has his costume.
Oh, you do have your costume?
I've got the costume, yeah.
We won't ask you what it is yet.
It's going to be top secret. We'll see what that is.
I'll approve it and then tell you.
Still at it's nearly basketball season already, and the Indiana Pacers are waving the victory flag early. How you can get a free piece of the Pacers. That's next on RTV6.
You're the world's largest wood floor refinisher.
Right now on RTV6, the countdown is on, and the Pacers want to get you excited for the start of the season. The team is giving away free Pacers flags ahead of their first game hosting Detroit. The flags come in a couple of sizes, and they gave out about 600 today at Bankers Life Fieldhouse, and they will be giving out more tomorrow as well. So if you want a free flag, the Pacers will be handing them out at Bankers Life Fieldhouse from 11 to 1 or until they run out of flags for the day. And we want to show you
Here are the flags.
Like.
They're big.
Yes.
That one's nice.
Yes, all right.
I was hoping you were going to hold them up and give me cover, and I was going to come in behind the flag.
Kevin wanted to do a magic.
Wow.
I don't know what's happening. We'll see you at 11.
You give him a toy.